So yeah, rolling. So yeah, these just talking about the community and the black community as a whole, man. And you were saying, we want to talk a lot. We want to talk a lot of stuff that could help us elevate in society right now. We really had to learn it on our own. You know what I'm saying? And like, what's some of the adversity that you dealt with just being in the music industry, just being an entrepreneur? Have you ever dealt with any type of? I know you talked about what happened at your job, but as far as you being in the music industry, being an entrepreneur, have you ever dealt with quote unquote racism?
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna deal with that regardless, just because we're how America is made. But a lot of it, I the best way to get around that is to find a mentor. And a mentor could be anyone. Like I told you earlier, like I found me a DJ mentor, and he was a different color than me, and he was like 10 years younger than me.
Straight up.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to be open minded and be willing to be learn. To learn. You got to be teachable.
You was my mentor when I was younger.
I don't even remember that. Because I never looked at myself as being nobody's mentor. You know what I'm saying? Man. I just always tried to be a decent person.
You was working at Walmart, man. I think you was working with my mom.
Yeah.
At Walmart, and I don't know. I think she used to take you home or something. I don't know, but I remember going to your house playing the game. You gave me a lot of good pointers and tips when I was younger, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And like as black men, do you advise therapy for black men?
Definitely. I think we should definitely make it more accessible, more as a norm, even as the kids get younger. I think nowadays more so than ever, because like you a little bit younger than me, but at the same time, when you was coming up, you didn't have as much access and wasn't as exposed as these kids are nowadays. I mean, with the cell phone, these kids is exposed to way more in the world than we ever could have been exposed to. So I think like that overexposure definitely does something to the psyche when it comes to seeing violence online. Violence wasn't readily accessible to us growing up.
It wasn't in our face like
it wasn't like day in and day out. So I feel like these kids, they almost build up like a tolerance to it to where it doesn't affect them as much. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't look at it like you hear these people talking about these YNs and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Which like I don't really care for the term too much, but a lot of these kids, you don't have to be a so-called YN to feel like they just don't seem like they have feelings toward much. They don't really think about the consequences as much because they see it so much day in and day out on their phone. You know what I'm saying?
It's like within our community, we kill each other faster than anything. You know what I mean? And where you think that come from though? Like, cause you hear the music now, like, and I'm not hating on the music now. Like, I love the new. What these young guys coming out with, they telling their stories, some of them, but a lot of it is rooted in violence, and it's rooted in violence like against the next black man. You know what I'm saying? Where do you think that come from, though?
I mean, that's all like it's what we talked about earlier, man. That's part of the master plan, to make us hate ourselves. If we can hate ourselves, it's less work for them to do. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just it's part of it's embedded as far as like in the culture and stuff right now. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you gotta think. It was talking about they talking about the rappers in the '90s was all glorifying the drug dealers, and now the rapper today's is the drug fiends. You know what I'm saying? It was like so it's like I don't know. We got to get away from that. Like I try not to meme another brother when I see him in the streets. You know what I'm saying? I try to smile and say, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do we have to mean mug and try to look hard? Like, what's the threat?
I do the same thing.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, I'm trying to find joy in life. I ain't trying to, be mean mugging nobody and everything like that. I'm trying to smile and have a good day. Man, I was in the hospital earlier this year for like almost a week. And I thought I was about to be dead. You know what I'm saying? Like they couldn't figure out what was going on with me. I felt like I was dying. So every day since I got out that hospital, man, I just try to wake up and be grateful. I try not to let nothing stress me out. You know what I'm saying? If I feel like I'm on the verge of getting stressed out or something, some bad information or something hit me, it was like I just got to take a step back and think about how blessed I am and how blessed I am to, you know, like I've done some great things in my life. I've accomplished some great things. I've beat a lot of stereotypes and a lot of odds to make it to where I've made it. And you know, like I was talking to a young brother the other day, and he felt like he should already have made it in the music industry. And like, how do I deal with the fact that, you know, like he feel like he is a failure because he ain't made it, because he had so many people telling him how great he was as a rap artist and everything. And I mean, like, sometimes our plan doesn't work out the way we see it, but it works out the way God see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never made it big time being, you know, like signed or becoming this big famous rapper and everything like that. But man, how many other rappers can say that they've sold music all over the world? They've been able to travel all over the country because of their music independently and everything. It wasn't what I seen initially, you know, when I first decided to be a rapper. You know, I'm looking at all these different rappers and stuff on TV and stuff like that. It's like, man, I want to perform at this award show. I want to be able to go and rock this stadium and everything like that. But man, like, if I sit back and look at it, like, I accomplished a lot. You know what I'm saying? I've been able to take my family out to travel with me to different states because I got booked for shows. I've been able to sell merchandise and sell my music in different countries where I've physically shipped my stuff to different, like 8, 9 different countries to people who heard my stuff online. You know what I'm saying? My stuff is still getting played on radio stations overseas. You know what I'm saying? And I'm still here in Cartersville. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, man, like, I accomplished my dream just like a different way. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like, even though I hadn't, like, what some people might call made it, man, I made it. You know what I'm saying? I did what I wanted to do. My music, my gift has been able to touch people all across the globe. You know what I'm saying? For somebody who's doing it out of a basement in Cartersville, Georgia, is getting played on the radio in France. You know what I'm saying? Somebody overseas in a European country or in Australia is wearing one of my t-shirts that I designed. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, I'm blessed, dog. So it's like, I have nothing to complain about.
And when it comes to the merch, though, how'd you get into that, though? With, like, designing the clothes and everything like that?
I've always, I don't know, I just always had a head, like, I want to always represent my brand. You know, like, when we started Baby Mob, you know, I wanted to have people wearing Baby Mob t-shirts. When I went out to do shows, I wanted to be wearing a Baby Mob t-shirt. So it's like, I just looked at, you know, designing stuff and going to local screen printers or embroidery shops and just getting custom stuff made and everything like that. I mean, kind of part of it was, you know, seeing the rappers I looked up to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like Wu-Tang, they had they merchandise with their Wu-Tang logo on it. You know, Rockefeller, they had the Rockaware. You know what I'm saying? You know, so it's like, I wanted to have my own brand. I wanted people rocking the brand that I came up with. So it's like, my mom said she knew I made it. She's like, I knew my baby was doing something when I was walking through Walmart frozen food section, and there was a little old white lady wearing a Baby Mob t-shirt that said "Get down or lay down." You know, you know. So, but yeah, it's like, man, I've always been a fan of rocking my own brands, and I feel like everybody should be a fan of rocking their own brands. You know, instead of like, you know, why we want to rock Gucci and Prada and Louis and all that stuff. We should be rocking our own people's stuff, you know.
And people, I feel like that hypnotize people, and it's just a name. Like Gucci, Louis, Prada, you know what I'm saying? Those are, I want to say those are family. I know the Gucci brand, I know that's a family. Yeah. And they getting rich off of us. You know what I'm saying?
We make everything fly. We put the flavor in everything. We the seasoning of the earth. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like, whatever we say hot is what it's going to be.
And how you feel about people like, because I see, you know, Japanese people in Japan and, you know, I mean, our people in Africa and just different cultures, like, copying us, you know? And they kind of don't acknowledge us, though. Like, they'll wear our clothes, they'll make our music, and, you know, they'll dance like us, but they'll still dislike us. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, all we got to do is just keep doing, focus on our own unity and bringing ourselves together. I mean, like, we can't change the world, but we can change our circle.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? We could, you know, my job is to impact somebody close to me.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? If I could help impact and be a light to somebody else, like me and my wife, we get up every morning now and we read a devotional and then we pray together. And part of my prayer is, you know, like I pray that anybody I encounter today leaves better off than when they first arrived.
Mm.
I just pray that I could be a light in somebody else's darkness. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to be positive to somebody. You know what I'm saying? I love when people come here, you know, and I could show them just a little bit that I've been able to accomplish. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe it'll just give them a little bit of inspiration for them to do something. You know what I'm saying? Or to show them that they can achieve different things.
And like you say, you want to be positive, and you focus on positive. So, like, how do you? Because there's a lot of distractions in the world, just period. And you talked about, you know, you lost people throughout your journey. Like, how do you like protect your energy through all that? Like, because it's a lot, like I said, it's a lot of distractions. So, what do you do to like protect your energy and to keep that positive, you know, mindset?
I think you gotta find your purpose and you gotta have goals. You know what I'm saying? I seen something the other day where it was like when a man doesn't know his purpose, he's destined to be destroyed. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you have your purpose, I feel like me getting married and having kids early on helped push me to be to accomplish more goals.
How long you been married?
This year will be 27 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like it wasn't like no easy 27 years. It's definitely hard. You know, you in a relationship and got a kid and everything. It's a battle sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes it's gonna be beautiful, and usually have way more good times than bad times. So it's all about, you know, like, man, working together and working on a common goal and trying to push toward that goal. So like figuring out what your purpose is, you know, going after dreams, constantly working towards something and staying focused.
And that's something that I see a lot. Well, it's something I don't see a lot in the black community is people, you know, actually just chasing their dream. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they so secure with, you know, a job. You know what I'm saying? What would you tell somebody that's, you know, working a job right now, working a regular 9 to 5, but, you know, they have a dream that they want to pursue? You know what I'm saying? What would you tell that person that might be a little shaky about, you know, leaving that security and, you know, following their dream?
I mean, if they don't have the proper plan or have, you know, the different pieces in place that they need, you know, maybe they need that job so they can use that job to their benefit. You know, like, let that job invest in your dreams. You know what I'm saying? Like, I held down a job for a long time and it helped me pay for the different things I wanted to get. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, just use it as a stepping stool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like sometimes people feel like they can't do one thing and do another. Like, if you just got a job, you just got to keep that job and that's it. No, you can get that job and you can still be working towards something else. You could be using the money you make off that job to help create the dream that you want. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about the mindset. You know what I'm saying? If you want to stay trapped in a 9 to 5 and that's all you want to do, some people that's all they want to do. They comfortable and they good with just having a regular job and living a nice simple life. I sometimes feel like I'm cursed sometimes because I always want more. It's not like not more in a bad way, like more physical stuff, but it's like I feel like it's more out there for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to do some big things. I want to experience some great things and stuff like that. So, you know, like sometimes I wish I had like my brain think a little bit more simple. You know what I'm saying? And not want to do so much extra sometimes, but that's just not the way I'm wired. You know what I'm saying?
You always been like that, OD?
Man, always. You know, I've always, like, my mom told me I used to color coordinate my Legos when I put them up. I had different little compartments for my Legos. It's like I'm OCD. Maybe I'm on the spectrum some type of way or something like that. You know, I don't know. We ain't had no spectrums back then, you know. That boy just touched, you know. You know, like, but yeah, it's like, you know, I love I love going after it. Like once I lock in on something, it's like it's gonna get done. You know.
And that's why I asked you like how you dealt with like the distractions and everything. You know what I mean? Because I know it's a lot of distractions, like I said, man. And your events, man. Like your events. When did you really start getting into, you know, doing events, hosting events and everything? Because I know you said first when you started DJing, you was, you know, hosting the rap battles and everything back then at La Cubana. Like, so when did you start really like getting into doing events and hosting events and stuff like that?
Shoot, like I think right after I had the right after I got that call from Rockefeller Records and stuff like that, I booked a venue downtown Cartersville. It's called the Loft, the City Loft, right over the City Cellar. And they have a place called the Loft above that. I ended up booking that and having like a live band, and we packed that place out. I did a concert, and like the whole city seemed like the whole city turned out because we thought, shoot, you know, like if I'd have got signed with Rockefeller, that'd have been a win for Cartersville because I'm in Cartersville. You know what I'm saying? Like Cartersville was like, yo, we got somebody just got signed with Rockefeller. You know, that's inspiration for a lot of people. So that was like my first event, that stuff that I put together. And then once I was able to get linked in with La Cubana and start hosting the MC Battle, shoot, your cameraman performed out there at La Cubana with the Untamed Gorillas and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, they came down there and killed it. And yeah, they came down there and killed it. And but yeah, it's like I always just wanted to put on for different people. You know what I'm saying? Like just for everybody, give everybody an opportunity to do stuff. And then from there, we had that other club that was up on 41. What was that other? You remember the other Hispanic club that was up there by?
Yeah, it was by the cable spot.
Cafe Soul.
Cafe Soul.
Yeah, I started having Twisted Thursdays at Cafe Soul, and man, we started having. I had people performing up there. You know, I had the Backdoor Boys, the Barge. I had what's the name? Jody Breeze and them boys come up there. I had Big Crit come up here and perform. Yeah, so that's what it was. You know, I always just tried to put on. And then when I built the venue and stuff in my backyard, I tried to do different little things and stuff like that. All of the shows don't work out. You know what I'm saying? Like I have a lot of ideas. Not all of them work out. Some of them do. Some of them don't.
I was just gonna ask you that though, because you doing this out your pocket and like that's a risk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Have anything just like flatlined on you? Like okay, you put this together and it just you lost more than what you put into it.
I never taken a huge loss. I always kind of safeguard against that some type of way, whether I get sponsors or I always try to at least break even.
Okay.
You know, a lot of the times when I mean like I cut the middleman out before Nipsey was talking about cutting the middleman out.
Most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I started buying my own DJ equipment, my own lighting and everything like that. So I started buying my own DJ equipment and lighting equipment and everything. So like a lot of times when I do events and stuff like that, I'm providing all my own stuff. So like when we did the back to school event, you know, a few years back and everything, like that was my stage, that was all my sound equipment, mics, all of that type stuff. I do graphic design, so I designed all of the pop-ups and everything like that. So a lot of the times, like, yes, I incur the cost, but I incur it at wholesale. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the best way to do things, really, though. Cutting the middleman out, going straight to the plug. Have you always had that mentality dealing with business, though?
Yeah, always. I don't know. I don't know whether it's just innately in me or what, but like I've always been like that. Man, I remember I was a little boy. So like I said, I grew up in Buffalo. So right across from Buffalo, across the Peace Bridge, is Niagara Falls. So in Canada, the fireworks is legal. In New York, they illegal.
Okay.
My dad back then, you know, he could drive across the Peace Bridge. You don't get searched when you're coming back. You know what I'm saying? He drive across the Peace Bridge and came back with a trunk full of fireworks and stuff. Man, I remember I was probably like 5, 6 years old, and I'm breaking down the packs of fireworks and putting them in little brown paper bags, and I'm going up and down the block selling a brown paper bag full of fireworks for $5. You know, like this is at like 5, 6 years old.
Yeah.
I've been getting to it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it was just in me, like to go out and get it from an early age. It's like I ain't never really just wait for nobody to give me nothing. It was like I remember we lived around the corner. It was a pizza spot opening up on the corner from our street, around the corner from our block where we lived at. And I seen where the workers was in there fixing and putting it together. And I walked right up in there while they doing the construction, was like, who the owner? And I'm probably like 10, 11 years old at the time. Is older Italian white guy. And I was like, you got some work? I was like, I could go pass some flyers out for you. You know what I'm saying? And he paid me to go out and pass flyers out. You know what I'm saying? It was like, you know, I'm always figuring out a way to go get it. You know what I'm saying?
Most
so
definitely.
it's always some kind of way to make it happen. You know, so.
And like you say, man, you got a lot of tools in your belt, though. Dude.
Yeah.
You know, and like just throughout your journey, man, what's your biggest accomplishment? You think your biggest accomplishment? You think?
Man, I've accomplished a lot. I think
or what you most proud of?
Man, raising my kids in a 2-family household. You know, like growing up, I ain't never been on vacation. I never went on vacation growing up. Like all I knew was the east side of Buffalo, for real. And you know, like my kids got to experience vacations. You know what I'm saying? I've been able to show my kids, you know, places in the country. I flew my kids. We went to Mexico. We went to Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? My kids got passport stamps. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, they grown now. They're young adults and stuff now. But man, like that was one of my proudest moments, flying my kids out to Jamaica. You know, when they was, you know, young teenagers. Like was that 11 years ago. So they were both was still young teenagers, and I'm flying them out to Jamaica for them to experience the culture of my wife from Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? So they got to see their mom's, you know, home island. You know what I'm saying? So to me that's big because like I ain't get to experience that. So I mean to them it's normal. You know what I'm saying? But to me, from my perspective and everything like that, like I never got to experience nothing like that. So to be able to provide for them and to make sure that they never had to see the hardships and stuff, the stuff that I seen growing up, and had to deal like me and my wife ain't never argue in front of my kids. They never seen us argue. You know what I'm saying? They've never seen me and my wife cuss in front of each other or cuss at them or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? They have been disciplined. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, just raising them in a stable household and everything like that, because I didn't have that stability.
Most definitely.
You know,
I can definitely agree with that. And just for like, you know, the young dudes that's gonna see this, and not even the young dudes, just the people that's gonna see this. You know what I'm saying? With business, you know, they say it takes money to make money. You know what I'm saying? Could you say that's true when it comes to business?
Yeah, you got to be willing to take a risk. I mean, like you got to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
You can't expect other people to invest in your dream and your vision if you're not willing to invest in yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's always ways to finance that, dude. Like, man, you just got to think outside the box. Man, you got to use the resources you have. Like, this is a supercomputer in your hand. You know what I'm saying? Use that at all times, man. You know how much I be on Facebook Marketplace? You know, like, dude, I use it to my advantage all the time. I might see something on there and be like, oh, they letting that go for way too cheap. I'm going to go ahead and snatch that up and resell that joint. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a way to make money. You know what I'm saying? I was renovating the gym. I turned my garage into a home gym. And it looked nice. Like it's so dope. It's so player. And
I gotta see that.
I bought like a leg press machine on Facebook Marketplace for $300. But it was used. It was a little old. You could tell it was old and everything like that. But I needed a leg press for the garage. But I wanted a new one, and the new one on Amazon cost $600. So I sold the $300 one like not even a week later for $600. And then I took that $600 and I bought me a brand new one for $600. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, you got to learn how to think outside the box and flip stuff. Like, I've always been thinking like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, what can I take from and turn this into? I can take this and turn this into something. You know, like even like with the woodworking, I'll show you in a little bit. Like, I don't have scrap wood. You know what I'm saying? Like when I get done and have like scrap wood or extra wood, I'm gonna make it into something. You know what I'm saying? Even the littlest piece it's gonna turn into something. You know what I'm saying? Even if I'm sitting on it for a little while, it's gonna turn profit some type of way. And I mean, people just gotta think like you gotta invest it. You gotta think of crazy ways to invest in your dreams and stuff like that to make that thing work. Whether you're gonna go out here and do Uber Eats, you know, Lyft, or you know, or you're gonna go out here and you're gonna flip things on Facebook Marketplace. You know, like my homeboy Buggy Beats. You know what I'm saying? That dude be going out to thrift stores and buying retro T-shirts and flipping them on his online store. And now that dude is killing it in the game. You know what I'm saying? He going out and buying bags of clothes from the Salvation Army and stuff like that by the pound and going through them bags of clothes and then flipping them joints online on eBay and on his online resale store and everything like that. You know, like, but he a producer. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, man, he got another hustle that's providing him, you know, that's paying for his lifestyle. So I tell any young artist or any person that's out there that you got dreams you want to pursue, man, find some type of way to pour into yourself and make yourself a resource to other people. You know, learn a skill. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a get it some type of way. You know what I'm saying? Whether I got to DJ for something, whether I got to build somebody a custom piece of furniture, or whether I'm doing a marketing campaign for another brand. You know, it's something different every week. You know, so yeah, it's always ways to invest in your dreams.
Most definitely, man. I wanted to ask you this too, man, because I had seen you had you was dealing with the school board.
Yeah.
And you ran for
I ran for the Bartow County School Board. Yeah.
What pushed you to that though? What made you want to get into that though?
Man, is one of the older guys here in town that's involved with a lot of community service and New Frontier. He kind of pushed me until he kind of let me know who the opposition was and what they kind of stood for, and I happened to be in that same district. He initially asked me if I knew anybody in the district that would be willing to run on a ticket, and I was trying to think, and I didn't really know nobody. And he's like, well, he's like, what's your address? I told him, he's like, oh, well, you qualify, you should probably run. So I thought about it, and I talked to my wife, and I talked to my older cousin who kind of has a little bit more knowledge when it comes to politics and stuff like that. So we went ahead and ran. It was definitely an experience. I don't think I'm not going to run again right now. I can't say never, but, you know, but it was definitely an experience. You know what I'm saying?
What did the opposite side stand for that you disagree with?
They didn't really have a platform. All they had was conservative Christian, true Republican, anti something. You know what I'm saying? Like, but nothing toward the kids. You know what I'm saying? I have a relationship with the kids in the school system. I've gone back to Cass High multiple times to go speak to the students through FCA or through the Black History program and everything like that. So I've created dialogue, and the students, I feel like I got a good relationship with the different students in different schools in this area, to where the person who I was running against, they was really just trying to take up a seat for their platform.
Okay. You know? Most definitely. I think it started with the kids though, especially black kids, reaching out to them. You know,
I feel like here in Bartow County, we've never had a person of color on the school board, elected to the school board. We never had a black member or a Hispanic member on the school board, and it doesn't represent our demographic for the population that we have in our school system. So I know personally, our kids had to deal with some different race-related issues going to school here in Bartow County, and when you don't have leadership that represents the demographic of students and stuff in there, it's hard for you to get empathy for what you're going through, or you know the challenges and stuff like that you might be going through. So I think it's vital that we have the proper representation, but we need more young people involved when it comes to local politics. If not running, we need more young people involved when it comes to participating in their right to vote and everything, and getting other people out to vote. You know, we just had an election locally. Well, you know, statewide, you know, back in June, May and June, and you know how many people showed up in Bartow County to vote for the primary? Less than 7%.
Damn.
You know, less than 7%. So you gotta think, if we got less than 7% of people out here voting and everything, but all you see all day is people complaining online about data centers, about the school budget and all this stuff like that. But y'all not doing. And it, we hear the argument about so many people saying, well, my vote don't really count. Your vote definitely counts when it comes to local politics, because local politics is what directly affects your lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Your kid got to go to a Bartow County school. You know what I'm saying? So you get to control who sits on the school board, which dictates the policies of what's going to get taught in the school system. You know what I'm saying? Like that. You got to ride these roads. You get pulled over and stuff like that. Your vote controls who's the sheriff. You know what I'm saying? Your vote controls who's the city or on the city council, who's the county commissioner, who's the mayor of Cartersville, who's the all type of positions and stuff like that. The community development director and everything like that. All of that stuff is directly tied to local elections. And if we don't get more than 7% out there to vote, we can't sit up and complain.
Yeah, we ain't gonna change nothing.
We ain't gonna change nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, national politics is a little bit different. We got to deal with the electoral college when it comes to the president and everything like that. But locally, we could definitely, make an impact on who's going to be governing us locally.
Most definitely.
Yeah. And we don't have a lot of young people doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't have people from 18 to 45 really exercising their right. You know who that 7% is who going out to vote? Seniors. White seniors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like we got a group of predominantly, white seniors, the ones that's pretty much running everything around here, because they gonna be the ones who gonna be out there voting and exercising their right. So it's like, man, you think the population of Cartersville or Bartow County, I think we hitting like 130,000. I think we got right at 90,000 people that's eligible to vote right now in Bartow County. About right around 90,000 people that's eligible to vote, and we got 7% actually going out there doing it. So it's like, and the black and brown community make a good percentage up in Bartow County now. Yeah. The state of Georgia just hit 51% of minorities is the population. You know what I'm saying? So we are now the majority because of our Latino brothers and sisters in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why you got gerrymandering. You know what I'm saying? Where they manipulating the political lines and stuff like that and everything, so they can try to keep control. Yeah. So it's like, man, we really got to get together and put our power to use. Yeah,
most definitely. And man, D, like I say, man, you got a lot of tools on your belt, man. You got a lot of knowledge. You got a lot of wisdom. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely picked up some of the jewels you just dropped today. You know what I'm saying? And what's next though, man? What you got up your sleeve next, man?
We doing this Poetry in the Park series. It's super dope. I'm about to start working on a new project and everything. I'm still pushing the Tears for Sale. So if y'all don't have a copy of Tears for Sale, get a copy of Tears for Sale. It's a super intimate, personal album. Some really good music on there. And man, I'm looking at ways to retire early overseas. Boy trying to move to Central America. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely, man. And shit, D, man, we gonna have to do this again, man.
Yeah, definitely. Let me know when you want to come back. Man. We could be like Boosie and Vlad.
Straight like that. Straight like that, man. Appreciate you sitting down, though, G.
No problem.
Most definitely, man.
All right.
TV. People do still separate Egypt from Africa. Or Kemet from Africa. You know what I'm saying?
I never looked at it separate, though. I don't know, like, I mean, I realize a lot of people do. But I've never looked at it as separate, because I always knew about, like, I don't know. I always been big on history, so I always kind of knew, like, it was part of Africa, but I always knew that it was darker skinned people, because you could tell from the shape of the noses, but they cut off, but they call them they all came up from Nubia. You know what I'm saying? Like all of that. So you know they was like Nubian kings and queens and stuff like that. So I always knew, like, like those the you know, it's been invaded. The Middle East has been invaded so many different times, that, you know, like it's just a blend of the different cultures. That's why it's more light skinned people down there now, but it all derived from Nubia, you know, coming up out of there.
Nubia older than Kemet.
Yeah.
Way older. And a lot of them folks from Nubia, they really, cause you know they migrated to, you know, to the Nile. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them folks really came from South Africa. They found a lot of monuments and stuff in South Africa.
I mean, but that's why they call the Mississippi the Nile of the Americas, because all up and down the Mississippi, that's what, like how we got the Etowah Mounds. Like it's more pyramid structures in the United States than it is in Africa.
I would say mounds. I wouldn't say pyramids.
But they call them pyramid structures.
Pyramid structures, yeah. And people get it
because the first pyramids was built out of the earth, out of you know.
It'll be mounds. And what you think about that whole thing with like, because a lot of people are saying like, America is you know,
the real Egypt and everything,
Egypt
like,
and
all
shit.
that stuff.
Like,
I don't know. There's so many different conspiracy theories or different theories, not even conspiracy, just theories and stuff out there. But you know, like Egyptians were master ship makers and salesmen and stuff too. Just like Mansa Musa and all his tribes and all the people, they was master, you know, salesmen. Like, you know, they shipping elephants over to India, you know, on, you know, stuff like that. So it's like
they could have came.
They did come. Yeah, you know, like Mansa Musa's brother. Yeah. That's what they said. They came before Columbus. They came like on a. They had like 300 ships that shipped from after the natural current comes straight across
from the Atlantic.
Yeah, the Atlantic current and everything. So it's like, you know, they even show like in South America when they seen them coming over on a ship, they thought they was gods. You know what I'm saying? When they first reached the Americas and everything like that. So you know, African people's been coming over here for thousands of years.
And this is what I don't like. Like, you know, we've been here, but it's a lot of people that try to separate themselves. A lot of black people like separate themselves from Africa. Like, oh no, I'm not African. We've been in America. I'm Indian. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what I don't like. Like, you try to separate the roots.
And we can be the natives here, but we probably were the natives, but we derived ancient ways from over there. Yeah, we like came over there. You know what I'm saying? It's like So, I think it was just a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just like, I mean, you look at it's black tribes in China. Yeah. You know, it's black tribes in China. You look at all of the Fiji Islands and, you know, like the Aboriginals and stuff in Australia. You know, like black people, melanated people are the original people all over the earth. Like white people are the minority. They make us feel like we the minority. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
They did a good job with that too.
Yeah. They did a good job. Because they only make up 13% of the population on the earth. Yeah.
Yeah. And Europe ain't nothing but what? That big?
Yeah.
And I don't even think it's really a continent for real, because it's like
people in Europe vacation to Africa the way we vacation to Mexico and the Caribbean. Yeah. Yeah. And Asia and Europe, they all vacation to Africa the same way we vacation to the Caribbean.
And people don't understand how big Africa really is. Like, you can fit like 2 or 3 Americas in Africa. And
they distorted the map.
Yeah. And it tripped me out how just these small group of people could colonize a continent that big of people.
Because they barbarians. Black people, melanated people are naturally loving and empathetic. We will take care of people. You know, it's like how many times you grow up in the hood and you see that one white kid that grew up in the hood and people just take him in and look out for him.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what happened when the Europeans went to Africa. Oh, come over here. Yeah, we got something to eat. Look. And they just see them walking around with just gold, just like everywhere. Oh, we about to get this gold. You know what I'm saying?
It was a book. It's a trip. And even with the I don't want to get too much into religion though, but like I love those conversations. Like, how do you, like, with the acculturation process that we experience as black people, like picking up Christianity, picking up Islam, and those religions.
Yeah, but Christianity is an African religion. Yeah. You know.
Yeah. I want to say the Orthodox Christians or the
Ethiopian Orthodox Church has the most complete version of the Bible ever recorded. You know, they even say they still got the Ark of the Covenant and some because they got certain churches that's carved into the rocks, which is a wonder of the world. They still got churches that's carved into the rock in Ethiopia and stuff that people are not allowed to go into. And they say they the ones who house the Ark of the Covenant.
Straight up.
You know.
And I heard that too. I read about
you gotta
that,
think,
as a matter of fact.
Ethiopia is the only country on the whole that's never been colonized.
It was a queen, and I forget her name. That fought them folks. For real. What you think about the councils though? Like the councils of Nicaea and all those councils that govern kind of like the Christian faith though.
I mean, they definitely like people manipulate all type of religions to control people. Yeah. You go down to Mexico and go visit Chichen Itza, where they got the pyramids, the Mayan ruins and stuff like that, and everything like that. On the corner of the Mayan ruins and the pyramid, at the base of it, like they the step pyramids and stuff, right? But at the base of it, it looks like it's a snake head. The way they built those pyramids and stuff down there, they align with the sun's natural orbit and everything like that, and the way that the moon and all that stuff hits. Certain times of the year, it looked like it's a snake coming down, and they would tell people, like the emperor and everything of those the Mayan people, they knew astrology. They would manipulate astrology to make it look like it was a snake god coming down, and they would would eat people, or you would call it sacrifice people to the snake god and everything like that. They use religion, they manipulated it to control the masses. It happens in all cultures and everything like that.
For thousands of years.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, it's the same thing with everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why you can have people who have different Christian sects and cults and stuff like that can manipulate people to do different things and crazy things and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely like, I tell people all the time, not like, you got to do your own research, and stuff like that. And God will reveal to you what was meant for you to know and everything like that. Some people are cool. They just go to church on Sundays out of habit, listen to whatever the pastors say, go eat dinner, and they cool. You know what I'm saying? But you got to do your own research and studying and everything like that, because things get manipulated, things get lost in translation all the time. One thing I love about Pastor Holly and stuff like that, he learns, like the real translations of, Hebrew language and different languages of the different, because all of the scriptures weren't saying the same language.
Of course not.
You know what I'm saying? So, you got to learn some of those different, because things change with context too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you got to think about the context. You got to think of how things are translated. You got to think about the times in which they were in and everything like that to figure out, what things really were.
And that's why I don't really judge people when it comes to their religion. But one thing I don't like about the Christians, or even, Christians really.
Well, a lot of Western Christianity.
I'm going to say Western Christianity. And a lot of black people done adopted it. You know what I mean? And, because I practice African spirituality, West African spirituality. Say Ifa. And, that's the devil, that's witchcraft, that's demon, and not even understanding it, you know what I mean? Not even, like you say, people gotta do their own research. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of coming over here, because I practice the Seisha Ifa African spirituality, because it was just, because we came to Haiti, we went to Brazil first, then Cuba, then Haiti. Or was it Brazil, Haiti, Cuba? But anyway, the slaves, they held on to their spirituality. A lot of them did. They're from different places, different tribes, so they had to figure out how to communicate with each other. And the best way that they communicated with each other was through spirituality, Like, you might have some slaves from South Africa, from West Africa, and it's like, okay, well, I'm familiar with this deity or entity, or I'm familiar with this practice, and they brought it with them overseas, you know what I mean? Yeah. And they held on to the culture. That's with Vudan, with Palomayambe, with Santeria, and I practice Seisha Ifa. They are West African spiritualities, And the Christian church, and I talk to a lot of my bros that's Christian, and they just shun it away. You know what I mean? Like, demonize. That's, you know what I'm saying. But it's us though. It's our culture.
Yeah.
You feel me?
I mean, it's thousands of religions and stuff out there.
It
you know what I'm
is,
saying?
man.
So it's like, I mean, you just got to believe what you. I feel like everybody needs a belief system.
Me too.
You know,
to be a little grounded. You know.
Yeah,
what I mean?
you got to have some type of belief system and stuff like that. One of my homeboys that used to ride with me after he did a little time in prison. When he came back, he was a devout Muslim and everything like that. I seen a positive change in his life from it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't practice Islam or anything like that. And, like, I had a song called My God is the Best, and he came and seen me perform one day. He's like, oh, so your God the best? And I was like, yeah, my God the best. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, I was happy for him because I seen, like, a positive change in his lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He seemed way more grounded, rooted, more responsible. You know what I'm saying? Like that. And it was like, man, him converting to Islam was a beautiful thing for him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I have no right to judge nobody for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like that. If that's what's best for you and your family and everything like that, more power to it.
I feel the same way, dude, man.